Hi guys, Stephen from Davenriche European Martial Arts School. Another question I get asked quite often is, how do I pick my first sword? There's a big difference in the styles of swords that you can get, the metal that they're made out of. And you want to be careful about what you get, because something too heavy is going to potentially damage you. But just as importantly, if it's too heavy, it's going to be very difficult for you to control, and that means you can damage your friend and your training partner. So you don't want anything too heavy. You don't want anything too light. When I first started out training, there in the late 80s, early 90s, we didn't have access to all the swords and all the supplies that we have now. So we had to use shinai. We modified them a little bit, but shinai are the bamboo training swords used in kendo and things like that. The problem is they're too light and they're too fast. They don't simulate the weight and the heft of a real sword. So you want something that's going to be closer to a real sword. And there's some good makers, but stay away from anything that says stainless steel. Stainless steel is not a good metal for training swords. It's too hard, too brittle. Another thing I would suggest staying away from, anything that says battle ready. Generally, when people say battle ready in their advertising, they're either talking sharp or excessively heavy. So be aware of that. Battle ready, I don't know where they live, but where I live in California, I don't need a sharp sword to swing at my friends. I don't want to do it. So you don't want battle ready. A word that we do use in HEMA is blunt or rebated. And there's suppliers that you can buy them from. For longsword, I would suggest a couple of different places. There is Purple Heart at woodenswords.com. There is HEMA Supplies at hemasupplies.com. And then you can also look at Cult of Athena. The ones on Cult of Athena they're resellers, so they will sell other swords. Some of them are from India. Don't get anything from Deepika. It's way too heavy, it's unbalanced, and it's generally not a good metal. Museum Replicas has some very nice looking things, but the problem with museum replicas is that their quality control is hit or miss. So you might get a good sword, you might not. And it's a lot of money to throw at it when you don't know what the quality is going to be. If you go to HEMA Supplies, they are specifically designed for HEMA practice. If you go to Purple Heart, they are specifically designed for HEMA practice. And you can get a metal sword or a synthetic sword. For synthetic swords, you can get them from, again, Purple Heart. You can also get them from South Coast Swords. You can also find synthetic swords up at Dark Age Creations in Calgary, Canada. So there's a variety of them available. If you are looking for a rapier or a side sword, you can get those for rapier. If you are looking for a rapier or a side sword, you can find side swords at HEMA Supplies. You can also find side swords and rapiers at Castile, who they're in Oregon, and they make semi-custom, relatively inexpensive swords. Now, when I say inexpensive, we're still talking $500 to $700. So just so you understand where that fits in the word. Another option is Darkwood Armory. Darkwood Armory is in, I believe it's Mississippi, and Castile Armory is in Oregon. They both make nice equipment. I have to say, I do prefer the look of Darkwood Armory to Castile, but take a look at both of them. So if you're looking for good swords, just as a recap, no stainless steel, nothing from India or Pakistan. You don't want anything that says battle ready, because those are generally sharp or excessively heavy. Another thing to be aware of on Cult of Athena is stagecraft. Stagecraft swords are overly heavy, and they are very thick because they're meant to be just banged edge on edge over and over again for theatrical shows. So I would be leery of stagecraft, anything that says stagecraft, just because of the weight. I hope that helps you in being able to pick up your first sword. One of the things you'll find when you buy one sword, pretty soon you're going to want another, and then another, and then another. It's a habit. So I hope this helped you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next video.